Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the EU Masters Group Draw Show. We are all done with the play-in stage. I'm Pyrotechnics, he is Celtic Tiger. We're rounding this one out. We're gonna make it pretty quick and pretty simple. So let me discuss with you what is going to happen here in this Group Draw Show. We have 2 bowls full of 2 sets of team balls, and what's gonna happen is we'll draw out of these to determine who our groups will be. Now, the group draw is divided into 2 pools. As such, we have 7 teams representing #1 seeds in regions that had a large amount of success in the last European Masters. They will be our pool #1 teams. Now, Illuminar Gaming, the #1 representative from Poland, because of their highest placement in the last European Masters, will be the team that automatically gets seeded into Group A, and they will also have the added benefit of not having to have another Pool 1 team in their same group. Now, the remaining 6 regions will, of course, double up in there, and then we'll go ahead and draw the Pool 2 teams that will then round out the rest of our entire groups.
Yeah, I mean, we had some really rough, double ups in the Pool 1 as well. I think we kind of tested it out, kind of ran a kind of an RNG.
Yeah, we just kind of ran through all the simulations.
Yeah,
we found all the different ways it can happen.
I think at one point we got Mad Lions and Gamers Origin in the same group. That was rough.
I mean, if it does happen, it's a pretty big group of death at this point.
Scripted, by the way?
There is, by the way, if that happens, definitely. Okay, there is one other possibility. It's one other thing that we have to keep in mind. No two teams from the same region can be in the same group. So if we end up drawing, for instance, Jatamaga into the same group that Illuminar is in, we'll have to move them to the next available group and continue to go. The same thing is true for Gentside and Gamers Origin, and now NIP and Atlantis. So keep an eye on those teams and where they fall. So, pretty simple rules. Without further ado, let's go ahead and get into it. Tig, would you please do us the honors? Remember, we have Illuminar already drawn. They will be in Group A. Go ahead, Tig, and draw our next Pool 1 team.
I'm going to drag it from the bottom here because I don't know what was on top. Let's see what we got here. Ooh, nice big print too.
In Group B, it will be Asus ROG Elite representing the Balkan region. Remember, this is a result of the fact that ClickDeck had such an impressive performance. The Balkans earned 2 seeds. This is their #1 seed that we'll be representing. So I'll go ahead and fill that in. Can we pull up the graphic and look at Group B and Group A? Illuminar representing in Group A and Asus ROG in Group B. This one should go into Group C.
Yeah. So far. See, I was asked really nicely, by the way, not to shake this super violently, because that's how I originally want to do it. Shake it up like a mixer.
You're just going to knock it off screen at that point.
Yeah, no, unfortunately not. I also can't juggle, which was my next idea, but unfortunately.
I don't know if that would be a good idea either, but it's okay. I like that you have the style as well. So Mad Lions, our Spanish #1 representative, will be drawn into Group C. Okay, so already I want to avoid that group from any of the teams.
Yes. I mean, I think we've had some really impressive showings. I think Mad Lions last EU Masters was my prediction to take it, and unfortunately they fell to Origin this time with no Challenger Series teams coming through. Who's left to knock them out?
Exactly, and it's also, the scary thing is this is the same team. This is the same roster, same coach, Aranea as well. Like, they have no reason to make these changes because they're such a dominant team in a dominant region. Anyone going up against Mad Lions is going to be in some trouble. Let's take a look at who will be placed in Group D first out of the Pool 1 teams.
I got it, yep.
Euronics. Euronics Gaming, of course, represented Germany, Austria, and Switzerland at the last European Masters, but were unable to find a single win. They'll be looking to try and get a little bit of redemption here. They have made a couple changes to their own roster as well. So, Tig, would you please do the honors to keep it going? This will be for the next team in Group A, joining Illuminar. Or excuse me, in Group B, because we cannot have any other team from
no one's
Pool
joining
A.
Illuminar. That is literally the whole point of them placing highest.
Thank you for catching me on that one.
No bother. Because now we have the UK coming through with Misfits.
Okay, Misfits Academy. Since Enclave were out, this will be the last representative from the UK scene in the Forge of Champions. Asus ROG Elite will be the ones joining them, the Balkans team. I feel like if you're a Pool 2 seed, that's probably one of the groups you want to get into because there's some uncertain ground there with both teams.
Yeah, and even Misfits themselves had a bit of a shaky run through the Forge of Champions, only then bringing back some different mid laners did they start to improve.
Absolutely. Well, we'll see how Misfits Academy end up doing. And one or two
I feel like I'm
more
just mangling these, by the way.
I mean, that is okay.
Not the cleanest open.
They are hardy enough to survive the mangling it would appear. Let's go ahead and take a look at his Team Atlantis. Now, this is your other Nordic representative. So Team Atlantis will be joining the Mad Lions in Group C. And of course, that means that Ninjas in Pajamas will automatically dodge that group wherever they get placed.
Now, we should be able to predict this one if you've been paying attention.
I think it's pretty easy if you can count it, but let's pull it out for everybody. It is going to be Gamers Origin joining Euronics. So we'll have some France versus Germany action happening in Group D as well. I feel like so far, this is some pretty solid groups. I want to go ahead and take a look at the graphic as it stands. We'll get that loaded up in just a moment before we go over to the Pool 1 teams, or the Pool 2 teams, I should say, which of course includes our play-in representatives. So Group A currently consists solely of Illuminar Gaming, who will only have Pool 2 seeds to join them. Group B is Asus ROG Elite from the Esports Balkans League and Misfits Academy from the Forge of Champions. Group C has Mad Lions from the LVP and Team Atlantis from the Nordic scene. And then Group D is Euronics and Gamers Origin from the Premier Tour and the Open Tour, respectively.
Yes, and I think, you know, we have some expected victors there, specifically Illuminar look to take it over in Group A. But I think even in Group B, I think generally the Balkans, while they had a great performance beforehand, a lot of people have said they're looking weaker since ClickTech fell, so maybe that's where Misfits look to take their win, look to represent the UK going forward. And then Gamers Origin and Mad Lions, with very few changes, I think no changes to either rosters, should be looking like the most consistent and probable victors of their respective groups.
I believe it's minimal changes to Gamers Origin, but all the same, I think your point still stands. Yes. It's definitely looking like a tough one now.
Actually swapped.
I will go ahead and draw out of Pool 2. Now, what we will do here is, because Illuminar were alone in their group, we're going to have 2 teams going straight into Group A to kind of even things out, and then we'll continue to move on down the line. So I'll go ahead and start here. We're a little off screen, but there we go. Yeah, excellent.
Nice.
I'm going to make it nice and fast. So, joining them, it will be the Ninjas in Pajamas into Group A. So they did dodge out automatically Mad Lions.
We didn't have to do anything crazy.
But
we
didn't
have to shove them out
yeah,
there.
but they have a Luminar, so I feel like NIP, they're definitely not out of the woods just yet in that one.
I will say, if you're a Pool 2 team, getting Group A is actually pretty decent for you. You know, because you want to be up against the other Pool 2 teams. You think you can take them on. A lot of the group Pool 1 teams are generally going to be considered stronger. Better to avoid the majority of them by getting into Group A.
Very true. And when you have to only deal with Illuminar Gaming, you still want to be able to get out into out of the group stages into the knockouts, and you're going to be pretty happy if you can be the second team to do that. Now, our next team also in Group A will be Outplayed, team representing the Italian region. Remember, last time it was Forge. This will be a new team full of new players. I'm not really entirely sure what to expect of these guys, but I think it's a smaller region. They're going to have a lot to prove.
Yeah, I think that's for the case for a lot of our Pool 2 teams. A lot of them previously either unrepresented or didn't quite make it through play-ins. So there's a lot in the line for them. They have a lot to prove going forward. They want to prove that their region can now stand up. And for these Italian players, it's all to play for.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's definitely a little bit tough if you are kind of coming in immediately, not having really seen anything but maybe Ninjas in Pajamas through the plans, thinking, oh, God, I have to go up against that team, and also up against Illuminar. Remember, the second place team from the last time around, and they're mostly the same roster minus Kikis. So we'll go ahead and take a look at who's going to be in Group B. This is the group that I think a lot of the Pool 2 teams will want to be joining, comparatively, because you have Asus ROG and Misfits Academy. So opening this one up, and we have got our other play-in team, Gentside, from the Esports Open Tour. Nicely done, though, with the way that they played and made their way into this stage, and I think they can be pretty happy with what they've drawn.
Yeah, I think they're going to be pretty happy going up against Asus ROG. I think, again, we talked about France as one of the major regions, so getting through the play-ins, Gentside have shown what they can do, and now coming up against these Balkan side, even the UK side, I think Gentside will be relatively happy in Group B.
Yeah, I think that's definitely the case. Go ahead and keep drawing on this one. And we're looking at Group C now. This is Mad Lions and Atlantis territory. Let's see who joins them out of Pool 2. It is Jatamaga.
Okay,
So,
got all our play-in teams
our
out
Polish
there now.
representatives as well. I feel like Jatamaga can actually be pretty happy with this one, because even though Mad Lions is in there and you absolutely want to avoid this team, you look at Atlantis, and I feel like even though they're still a pretty strong side from a pretty strong region, given the strength that we've seen from Ninjas in Pajamas, I think you feel like you can still team fight your way out of this one so far.
Yeah, and I think that's the thing. You want to bring it to a more messy game. It's all about how Atlantis beat teams like NIP, because I believe NIP are looking a bit stronger than they previously did in the Nordics. I think now, in their current form, with Bloomingen as their coach, I think they're a better team going forward, and Jatamaga still managed to beat that. So coming up against Atlantis, maybe they're happy with that matchup.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's keep on moving down the line. This will be in Group D, joining Euronics and Gamers Origin. Pull it right from the corner there. This one's a tough one. I don't think this one wants to be in the groups.
We'll see.
Oh, could be wrong. It is Touring Esports. Touring Esports, I believe one of the newer teams, one of the newer regions also representing, taking a look down the line
Baltics.
here. The Baltics region. So we've had the Balkans before. We now also have the Balkans. This is a mostly Lithuanian team actually joining for the first time. Similar, I think, to our Italian side. This is going to be kind of a tough task for them.
Yeah, I mean, the last Lithuanian team we had in the EU Masters was through the EU Nordic East Open, and naturally they had a bit of a rough showing, as the EU West Open team did as well. So I guess Turin coming back in with a bit of Lithuanian pride, wanting to show why they deserve their place in the EU Masters.
They're going to have to go up against the other Lithuanian, though, in the form of Toaster on Gamers Origin. So, like, going to have to fight out against them. We'll see who is the strongest Lithuania, I suppose.
Yeah.
Now it's
one Lithuania or many?
One or many, I suppose. All right, so this is back into Group A. This is going to round out Group A. We'll go ahead and bring the graphic up once we've got that done. So this joins Illuminar Gaming, NIP, and Outplayed, and it will be Isuba, the returning team from the Czech Republic and Slovakia, and they've made a lot of changes themselves, so they have a lot of very different roster. I'm not entirely sure what to expect, but Isuba came in very hyped during the last EU Masters, and I think we have reason to think the same now.
There were a lot of people who said if Isuba had managed to make it out of play-ins, if they'd just gotten in ahead, they would have had a better showing in groups. So for their fans, I guess they have to prove that now that they are put straight into those groups.
Absolutely. Let's go ahead and take a look at the updated groups, because we have Group A finally fleshed out, which will be Illuminar Gaming, Ninjas in Pajamas, Outplayed, and Isuba all filled out. That one, I feel like it's fairly well balanced there, Tig.
Yes, I think Illuminar, again, coming in as the seed 1, should be looking to take it. But then the rest of the 3 have all to play for that second spot. And while you come in, you say, okay, Ninjas in Pajamas look revitalized, they're looking strong. Outplayed and Isuba have not had to show their hand at all. They could bring out some really surprising picks and try to take that second place.
Absolutely. Now, all the other groups, we still have 3 more teams left to pick. Who are you thinking is going to be one of the toughest groups to be drawn into right now?
Giving it a quick look, I think I'm leaning towards Group C being pretty rough, because you have the strongest play-in team and Mad Lions there to contest with. On top of that, you have another Pool 1 team, Team Atlantis, and based on how NAP performed, I'd be very worried if that's the team that beat them.
Well, whoever we pick next will get to dodge that particular bullet, because they're going to be in Group B, so let's go ahead and take a quick peek. Only a couple more Pool 1 teams remaining. There's a lot of these are going to be from some smaller regions. This is going to be Team Echo Zulu. This is another new region representing Benelux. This is mostly a Dutch roster. And again, similar to the Italian team, similar to what we've seen out of Touring Esports. They're the champions of their home region. Can they play with the big boys?
Yeah, similar to what little people will have seen of them on larger stages as well. So it really is a lot to prove for them coming forward into the EU Masters. And for Benelux, a region that hasn't been represented yet, you can come in with a bit more national pride, see what they can bring out.
Absolutely, and I just love this team already, because their abbreviation is EZ, so maybe that's a prediction for how they're going to get
It's the NATO alphabet, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like, it's actually, their name is designed to be easy. It's not just some kind of coincidence. They've been aiming for that.
Absolutely. Okay, and here we go. This is going to be in Group C, possibly our group of death. Who will be the final representative joining them? It is going to be our Greek and Cyprus representative, Panathinaikos. Of course, a big sports organization in Greece as well. And these guys are also getting their first proper representation in the European Masters.
I mean, you have to say, of course, the Greek player Forgiven and went on to win EU Masters, so...
Yeah, that's true.
Maybe Panathinaikos...
On Origin. So maybe Panathinaikos can channel a little bit of that and find themselves some success. They will certainly need it, because this is a tough group to be drawn into, joining Mad Lions, Atlantis, and Shatamaga. Let's go ahead and draw our last team. Of course, if you've been paying attention, you will know who is coming up next. And who is coming up last, indeed. In Group C, or Group D, I should say, it will be For the Win Esports. So this is another fun name. Now, this is the Portuguese team, as Kick did not win the championship. For the Win are representing in their stead, so they will be making their EU Masters debut.
Yes, but Kick, again, one of the teams who didn't quite make it through play-ins, didn't have the best showing there. So for Portugal, you're right beside that Spanish scene that seems to be doing so well. You want to have your own representation that does as at least equally well.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people were looking at Kick's performance. They were coming in fairly hyped to the last play-ins, and they didn't quite translate to what we wanted to see on stage. I'm hoping that they can turn that around. Let's go ahead and take a look at our finalized groups. Groups A through D are finished, and we'll go ahead and start talking through the schedule once it's done. So, Ty, we talked about Group C being, our pretty big group of death there. Is there any other group that's on your mind? And tell me why.
Just going to take a quick run down here, and I think I'm liking the look of Group D. I think that'll be one where, yes, I think Gamers Origin will be looking like the strongest, but then Euronics they have to prove that they deserve that Pool 1. The German, Austrian, and Swiss scene need that representation because it was such an unfortunate showing last time.
And there's no mouse sports this time either.
Yeah, and while maybe you're not expected to beat out Gamers Origin, you should be looking to take that second spot, should be looking to go through against these Pool 2 teams. And on the other side, if you can upset, that'd be huge for either of those Pool 2 teams.
Absolutely. So those are our groups. Thank you for watching the European Masters play-ins. Of course, we will return for the group stages on Monday, September the 17th at 6 p.m. Central European Summertime right here, twitch.tv/Riot Games. And of course, if you'd like to catch a little bit more League a little earlier, you can always tune in tomorrow for the European LCS regional qualifiers for Worlds. So until then, thank you for watching, good night, and we'll see you soon.